very heavy night of drinking, and one such night happened in Chicago.
What's the story how it got to Noon? Wasn't he trying to, like, somebody asked him what his name was, and he tried to say his ring name and his real name at the same time,
but it
went Rick Noon.
You know, because, you know...
And everybody went, what?
That's basically how Rick Noon came about, and he, to this day, he maintains that that was going to be his name if he ever did porn, but but in reality, it was. I saw this lovely young lady at Kincaid's, the official ROH after party bar down in Chicago, came up to me and goes, "So, what's your name?" And he went, and he was so drunk at this point, he went, "I'm Rick Noon," and that
wasn't even a word.
That became the birth of Rick Noon, and for those you don't know, Rick Noon is also Rick James' bitch.
Yeah.
And you know, he'll also proclaim that at the top of his lungs in the middle of a crowded bar to any woman that would come within his vicinity.
Of course, the height of the Dave Chappelle popularity.
Yes.
When everybody was, I'm Rick James, bitch, blah blah blah, and it wasn't even funny to us anymore.
Yeah,
it was funny when he was doing it.
Because he was just so drunk and insistent, and I started to believe it at one point during the night. So anyways, afterwards, Ricky was drinking a tremendous amount, and we decided we were going to go to the Wiener Circle. And those of you who are Insomniac fans on Comedy Central will know much about the Wiener Circle, or just people who live in Chicago. And you see at the Wiener Circle, the attendants behind the counter there aren't the most cordial people in the world. And of course, Ricky was really smartened up to this. So when Cabana walks through the door and says, "Hey bitches, my little Mexican friend here wants a hot dog, let's get it on fucking stat," and they reply with, "Fuck you, motherfucker, who the fuck are you?" At which Rick Noon, not knowing that...
Just the stunned look on his face. Just was like a fish-faced, beady-eyed, little Mexican bastard.
Like, what, bitch? What? No, fuck you! Fuck you, bitches! You
was ready to throw down.
Shit and fucking... And he goes into this verbal tirade, which really isn't making any sense, but he's very intent and very hateful in the words he's saying to us. But then the lovely ladies behind the counter at the Wiener Circle proceed to start snapping and popping everybody in the restaurant at the horrible insults they're throwing away, including, "Shouldn't you be mowing my lawn, motherfucker? I know I was not late this month," which elicited a great O from, well, us and Ian Rocky Romero.
Yeah.
and which is proceeding to get Rick Noon more and more mad.
And he's full of the lamest insults because he's so drunk. Like, I said something to him, and he looks at me and he goes, "Fuck you and your fine-ass girlfriend."
Which is...
How was that even an insult? I was like, awesome, all right.
It was real, like, uncomfortable omission, like...
Yeah, like, that's kind of creepy. Now
that you think my chick's hot. But for those of you who don't know, go to samojo.com, go click on my live journal, scroll down until you find an entry called Rick Noon Goes to Chicago, and I heavily advise you to download the video to see the brilliance of Ricky Ray as Rick Noon.
And know that he vomited all over Cole Cabana's car.
Oh yeah, know that he rolled up the window to vomit all over Cole Cabana's car.
Know that he was looking this way, and somebody said, "No, the window," and he just turned and went, "Ah!" Hit the window and went everywhere.
How did you guys become friends?
I'm not his friend. I hate him. I'm just getting paid for this, right?
Yes.
All right, yeah.
Okay, how did we become friends?
How did we become friends? Should we tell them about the parallel lives theory?
Yeah, but that's something we discovered later in life. I would just say that I remember, I always remember hearing about Joe, and he came to Ring of Honor, and I don't think... He started on a show I wasn't on, and the show I started on, he wasn't on.
That's right.
And then pretty much after that, we were on every single show. And
I think I popped him with a line because, like,
me and him, it was something stupid. Like, we both had the same CD player, and I was like, "What are you listening to?" And he was like, "Oh, I'm listening to this." And what are you listening to? Oh, blah blah blah. And he goes, "So you're straight edge, huh?" And I was like, "Yeah." And he's all like, "If you're not now, you never were." And I was all like, "Wow,
you should know that.
Wow, you're not half as dumb as everyone said you were." Great. And then I guess just from there, just I don't know, man.
Yeah, it kind of went from there.
I guess we have a like personality.
Yeah, there we go. Both assholes we want to be. But then later on we discovered that we had this little weird parallel lives thing going on. God, should we even tell the story?
Let's tell the G-rated one about. Let me start, and I'll let you. Okay, we have this thing where if something happens to me, literally, honest to God, the exact same thing will happen to Joe, or it already happened to him, and he just hasn't been able to get to a phone to warn me. I met I pretty much met Tracy Brooks in such a way, but we won't tell that story. And I know you people are so mad right now, but it's pretty violent and X-rated. But there was one time in Nashville, we were out at some club, some bar or something like that. Probably it was the same place me and Chris Daniels did the boxer short contest.
Didn't happen to me first, though.
Which is a story for another time. Did it?
Yeah, I think it happened to me first, then I called you.
Okay.
Yeah.
So it happened to you first. So
we've established that, like, because from these previous events, God, the Tracy Brooks story is great, though. God, she'd kill you. So we got this weird parallel lives thing going on. So I called him a few days earlier, and normally, like, you know, I usually call Daniels or somebody just when something went down. And I'd gotten into a little bit of a scuff. I was out with this young lady at this bar, and this gentleman was very drunk and very persistent while I was talking to some friends about dancing with my girl, and she didn't want to dance with them, and basically kind of, you know, he finally put her hands on her, and I got angry and threw him through a glass partition. Luckily, I knew the bouncers there, and they carted me out the back and covered for me and said the guy was drunk and threw himself through it. But yeah, there's taped evidence, yeah. And the guy was so drunk that he said a large Asian man had thrown him through. So right now, Akibono's fucked if he ever goes down to Orange County. But anyways, yeah. So there we are, and I called him up, and I left a message for you, didn't I? I didn't even get through to it. And I go, man, you won't believe what just happened to me. We always joked around these parallel life things that happened in a few instances before. I just got in this huge fight in this bar, and I threw this guy, and he's a bloody mess, and I threw him through a glass partition, and he's still alive, but I really fucked him up bad. And
Joe felt bad.
Yeah, I felt horrible, because, like, I really did. This guy got messed up more than I intended. And I was like, you know, I feel shitty about it. You know, my temper got the better of me. I go, jokingly, so you know what? Just watch out. You know, don't want that parallel lives thing catching up to us. Then that very night,
little does he know, it was Wednesday night after TNA pay-per-view, and I go out. And everybody's out with us. Everybody always went to the same place because everybody always got free drinks. Pretty much the group I was with was like me, Tracy, Daniels, Scott D'Amore, I remember being there, and the Cowboys. And the Cowboys want to go to their little fiddle bar. No shit. There was a fiddle guy on the stage playing. So, like, we walked a couple blocks and went to this bar, and it's a total country bar. I mean, people got boots, hats, everything. I stick out like a sore thumb, as always. So everybody's drinking and stuff like that. We find a table by ourselves in the back of the place, and there's a group of guys, 3 or 4 guys, and one guy is just drunk, and he's on his stool, and every single girl that walks by, he grabs. You know, I mean, he's grabbing for anything. I'm pretty sure he's aiming for, like, tits or ass, but he's, you know, whatever you can grab, he's grabbing. And every single girl's like, oh, blah, blah, blah. And this guy's, like, being all rude, and Daniels points it out to me. He's like, should we go say something to that guy? And I was like, yeah, you know, maybe blah, blah, blah. And then Tracy, she's like, you're not ruining my night. She's like, no fighting, none of this, no, you can't punch anybody. Promise me you're not going to punch anybody. So, okay, I promise. I promise, Tracy, I'm not going to punch anybody. She's like,
I'm not going to punch anybody.
Right. I'm hanging out with you, and we're having a good time. She's like, I don't want any of your macho bullshit. I was like, all right, cool. So, but then I'm just sitting there. And, you know, I got 2 little sisters in Chicago, and I have a hard time, you know, seeing, like, these women just getting just groped, you know? And I'm sitting there, and I'm like, man, this, you know, fuck. So finally, Tracy's like, I'm going to go get a drink. She had probably my baseball hat on, like a red Canadians hockey hat on. She goes, the guy grabs her ass. And she doesn't look at the guy, she turns around to me, I'm already up. And she's like, I can handle myself, blah, blah, blah. So she starts bitching at the guy and yells at him and walks away. Daniels gets up and goes to the bathroom. And I watch as Tracy's like hat just kind of disappears in the crowd. And I look back down and the guy's just leering at me. And he's like staring at me like, yeah, I just grabbed your girl's ass, you know what? And I'm sitting there and I'm like, can't see Tracy. Daniels isn't anywhere here. But I am a big thing. I promised. I said I wasn't going to punch him. So I'm looking around.